Well, after 1 year with the Indianapolis Colts, very successful year, Tom Manning is back as the offensive coordinator at Iowa State. And Coach, how's that transition back gone for you? Is it like riding a bike?
It's been really easy, I'll be honest with you. I think just the staff here, not only from my end of it, coming back into the continuity of this staff, but also for my family, moving back to Ames and being around all the great people in our organization. It's been really good.
You got to watch what Brock Purdy did as a true freshman a year ago from afar. Now that you've had a chance to work with him a little bit, what are your impressions of Brock?
Yeah, I think probably first and foremost, I think there's his maturation, for being a young guy, is second to none. He has a tremendous amount of poise and a tremendous amount of focus for a young guy that I think is unusual. And then obviously we know about his skill set and his ability to make plays, but he's been really fun to be around. And kind of watch him move around and how he operates from a day-to-day basis, and it's impressive for a young guy to do those things.
Your teams at Toledo, when you and Matt were there, it was not uncommon to have several running backs kind of share the spotlight a little bit because you had so many talented backs. As you replace David Montgomery, could we see something similar here, or are you looking for that workhorse that you can really hang your hat on?
Yeah, I think for us, that running back room is a really interesting room. Obviously losing David is really hard because of not only the football player, but what he meant to the locker room. And I think we feel really confident in the running backs that we do have. Number one, we believe they're talented football players. And number two, I think they have great competitive spirits. So we're going to get everything they got throughout fall camp. And for us, I think we have to let that come naturally to us. Does somebody emerge where we feel like they're the best opportunity and option for us on first, second, and third down? Or do we feel like we have a lot of guys that have to play? And I think we're in a good situation because we feel very confident in the skill set, the talent, and the character of those young men.
You did a great job with the Colts tight ends, but you've always loved the tight end position and what it can bring to an offense. And when you left here, that was a really inexperienced group. But now when you come back, it's one of the most experienced groups. How can you utilize those tight ends and what you want to do?
Yeah, I think first off, I think that a lot of credit goes to Coach Golish and number one, recruiting those guys and having the vision there. But number two, developing those guys, because I think when you look at all of them when they came in as young guys to where they're at now, from the skill set, from the physical side of it, I think they're different people. And for us, I think it's always about finding who we think the best players to be in the formations that we're in, to run the best plays for us to move the football. So, I'd love to be able to utilize the tight end. When those times come for that, I'd love to do that. And when there's times in games where we can't do that, then we shouldn't do it. But certainly excited about that group of guys.
Coach Myers learned under you and then took over the offensive line a year ago. Really did a terrific job, I thought. Will this team, with that experience back on the offensive line, maybe go as far as the offensive line takes it?
Yeah, I think that's like that every year. I think the belief of myself and Coach Campbell has always been that you win the football game up front. And I think, as much as football changes and the cycles of football, I think that's always true. The better you are up front, the better your opportunity to win football games are on offensive side and the defensive side. And Coach Myers has done a phenomenal job. I think what he does really well is, number one, he's a great teacher. I think he's a great teacher of fundamentals. But I think he also connects with those players. And number one, being a player, he understands what they go through. But he gets those guys to play really hard. And I think that's half of offensive line play, is just having the ability to play harder than everybody else does. So, we're excited about that group. I feel, they've been working really hard. We're really proud to watch them, and we'll see what they got.
Coach Campbell talks a lot about complementary football. And when you know as an offensive coach that you have a tremendous defense, how does it affect how you approach things?
Well, I think for us, the first thing is your staff has to be aligned. And, I think the one great thing about Iowa State is that we all believe in Coach Campbell's vision and understand that there's a lot of different ways to win a football game. And from week to week, it could change dramatically. And I think what we do as a good job as a staff, and primarily Coach Campbell, is understanding how do we have to play the game this week to win the football game. And I think that's hard in college football, to be able to put your ego aside sometimes and to make the sacrifice for the good of the team. But we got a really good defense. And there's going to be times where we have to score, and there's going to be times where, but for us, at the end of the day, if we win 2-0, that's cool. I think we have to find ways to win games.
I'd take 12 2-0 victories right now. Sign
That's right.
me up. Coach, thanks.
Appreciate
Great to have you back.
Thank you.